Hey, what's going on? Luke here, and there's not a lot to talk about in the NRL at the moment. All the rumours and stuff, they've all kind of died down. All the signings have already happened. A lot of the NRL clubs, they've got the top 30 finalised. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot to talk about in terms of the preseason, just at the moment, just over Christmas. Probably in a couple of weeks, be able to talk about a lot more. But due to that, there's kind of not really too much to talk about, like I said, in terms of video. So I've done what everyone does when they don't really have any content to do. I've gone to the tier list. Now, I've done a few tier list videos before, and every time I jump on there, I write in NRL or Rugby League, and the ones that come up are usually position ones. And I keep going, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do one later on. And then I just never get around to doing it. Well, now we're doing it. So for today's video, we're going to be ranking all of the wingers in the NRL. Now, I'm not sure exactly how many players I'm actually going to be ranking, but I'm pretty sure it's one or two players from each club. Obviously, there's two wingers for each club. So there probably could be a couple more than two. Maybe there's going to be 3 or 4 for some teams. Maybe there'll be none. I don't know. I haven't really had a good look at this one. I figured if I had a good look, I'd probably come up with some sort of result before I even started this video. So I kind of want to keep this authentic. I want you to see where I rank these players purely as I'm sort of making the video. I don't want to have any pre-assumptions or anything. Now, just before we start ranking these players, I just want to say, if you do happen to go on to enjoy this video, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also follow me on social media and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, time to grab my phone, time to load up the page, and time to start ranking these players. Alrighty, so as you can see on the screen right now, there's 5 categories. We have elite, star, good, low end, and trash. And I actually think they're probably one of the better ones. I actually only just discovered that you can customize this sort of stuff, but this is the default one, and I actually quite like it. Now, you can see all the players here at the bottom. I could scroll along, but I feel like instead of going through and showing you all the players now, we're just going to get to it as the video goes. So let's start rating the players. The first player here, we have Kyle Feldt. I actually really rate Kyle Feldt. Is he elite? I wouldn't say he's elite. Is he even a star? I don't know. I'd put him in the good category. As good as he is, he also has a lot of shit parts about his game too. In saying that though, I am tempted to put him in the star category because I think about all the wingers in the game, and I feel like he's probably one of the better ones. And even in terms of origin and stuff, I feel like he would have been in the origin side if it wasn't due to injuries. However, I don't know, there's so many wingers in the game at the moment. I might just chuck him in the good category just for now. I mean, who's going to forget that try he scored in the grand final? I know he didn't do too much, but I mean, he goal kicks, he scores tries. It's just a shame he's a bit injury prone at times, but great winger. The other winger, I think it's, I can't even think of his name, Ben Hampton. I'm going to put him in the low end. I don't think he's total trash, but I wouldn't even consider him like a proper winger. Then we have Josh Mansour. Do I put him at good? Do I put him at low end? I feel like at his peak, he was like a star sort of / elite winger, but he's definitely dropped off so much that the Penrith, his lifetime club have said, jog on mate, get to your next club. Josh Mansour, where do you put him? I'm going to put him, well, if I'm putting Kyle Feldt in the good category, I feel like Mansour's not quite as good as Feldt. So I might put Mansour in, I'll put him in the good category, but he'll be at the back end of the good category. Next up, we've got Brian Tuaro. I'm going to put him in the star category. I really rate Brian Tuaro. I think he's safe, and he's got that X factor about him, and he's just so damaging. I really, really rate him. Next up, Alex Johnston. I'm going to chuck him in the good category as well. He's a great club player, but if I'm going to be picking these stars and elite players, I feel like they're guys who are kind of, international caliber, state of origin caliber, and I don't think he's there. I mean, there's a reason he's not in talks to play for New South Wales ever. He's a great finisher, but doesn't really have anything else. He's just not like a big powerhouse or anything. He's a good, solid winger, but that's about it. So good, I think that suits him. I'll chuck him behind Kyle Feldt. Top try scorer last year, I believe, too. So look, he's definitely good at scoring tries, which is what you want for a winger, but just all the other stuff, I think the others are a little bit better. Then we got Dane Gaga. He's going straight into the elite category. I think that's an easy one. Look, I would say he's not an elite centre, but then this past Origin series, he definitely looked like it. So, I don't know. We've seen enough from Dane Gaga to say he's an elite winger. I think that's very evident. Now, moving on to the Titans. I don't know. I've just chucked him there. Is it Anthony Don? I think it might be Anthony Don. I'm going to put him in the low end category. Yeah, I'd say that's probably his spot. The next guy, I don't know if that's Philip Semi. I'm really bad with these photos, especially when I'm not watching a lot of these lower end teams. Look at them, I'll say lower end teams for the Titans and stuff, but with work and that, I can't watch every single game. So some of these guys, I'm familiar with them, but I'm not ridiculously familiar with him. So if they're kind of sort of fringe guys or guys who are newish, I'm not going to exactly know who everyone is just based off this sort of profile. But I think that might be Philip Semi. I'll chuck him in that good category. If that is Philip Semi, he's in the good category. Edric Lee, he's another one. We're going to put him in the good. Just about made it into the origin side for Queensland, but I mean, that wasn't really saying much considering their wingers on paper. But we'll chuck him in the good category. I think he's shown over the years that he's he's pretty classy at times. Just like I said, for a few of them, they're a bit rocks and diamonds, and he's definitely one of them. Can produce some good stuff, can produce some bad stuff. Then Heiml Hunt, I think it's Heiml Hunt. Pretty sure it's Heiml Hunt. Let's just go with it being Heiml Hunt. I'm going to chuck him into probably in the good category. He's probably low and good. I'm going to say just the good category. He's just like a solid winger. He's not terrible. He's not, he's not in the trash. I wouldn't say he's even low end. So yeah, good. That sort of fits him. Blake Ferguson, he's another one like Mansoy. If you asked me a couple of years ago, easily would have put him probably in the elite category. Not so much these days. I don't know if injuries have slowed him. Definitely had a slow season in terms of tries in 2020. He even lost his spot in the New South Wales side, but I don't know if I can drop him into the... Well, is he good or is he a star? I don't really know. I feel like he's still quite effective in terms of... even when he's not scoring tries. I mean, he's a big meter eater. He can do all that sort of stuff. You got Sevo there as well for the Eels. So it's not like they weren't scoring tries. He just wasn't on the end of it. I'm going to chuck him in the star category for now. I feel like it's a bit of a risky one considering I got Kyle Felt, we got Mansour and stuff in the good category, and then we just chucked in Ferguson, who probably had nowhere near as many tries. But I feel like Ferguson, at least, look, if we're looking at just last year, probably not in the star category, but if we look at the last couple of years, I think he's in there. We'll figure it out at the end of the tier list and see if it looks stupid or not. But we have Vunivalu. I'm going to chuck him in the star category. I think, look, he's leaving rugby league. He's going to be a big loss to Melbourne Storm. They just signed Remus Smith. But Vunivalu, he's class. He's different level. And he has been for years, and he's probably kind of underrated because he's a bit of a grub. So I feel like he's not exactly likeable. Plus, he plays at Melbourne, so they fly under the radar there a little bit. But just in terms of what he offers in Melbourne Storm, he offers a lot of consistency, pretty safe under the high ball, great finisher. I just don't think he's as good as Addo-Carr, and that's who I'm going to chuck in the elite category. So far, we have Gaga and Addo-Carr. Just signed with the Bulldogs for season 2022, but he's going to be staying at the Storm for 21. And I think he's shown over the last couple of years, he's done enough to show that he's definitely an elite winger. He's cemented himself in that blue side. Plus, he's won a couple of premierships. He's been a star for the Storm side. He's also been a star for the New South Wales side. I thought he was absolutely outstanding for the Blues in this past Origin series. In a series where not much was happening in terms of the Blues and their side. I wasn't a big fan of how they played, and Addo-Carr definitely stood up and at least got New South Wales looking half decent sometimes. Now we move on to Nick Cotrick, another Blues winger. Was it Simonson? Simonson first and then Cotrick. Simonson, I would chuck him in probably the good category now. I feel like every half decent one nearly got out of it. Every half decent winger I'm chucking in that good category. I feel like I need to start putting some more plays in this low end one. Simonson hasn't really offered a lot. He's been coming off the bench the last couple of years. Rapana's been there. I am going to chuck him into that good category because I feel like he actually is a good player. He just hasn't really had many opportunities, especially with guys like Nick Cotrick in front of him. I'm going to chuck Nick Cotrick into the star category. I feel like he's a fantastic player. I feel like he's right up there. If I've got Ferguson in the star category, I've got to have Nick Cotrick there. Unlucky to not find himself in the blue side just because he's got some fantastic wingers ahead of him. One of them is definitely not Jordan Pereira. I'm going to chuck him in... I need to chuck him in the trash category. I really don't rate Jordan Pereira. I don't rate Ravalaara as well. That might be a bit harsh. Could put them in the low tier. But look, we're just going to chuck him in the trash for now. Obviously, Pereira, he actually overcome a lot in terms of that neck injury. But just in terms of ability, we've seen with the Dragons, the wingers definitely aren't a strength for them at the moment. And it's funny to see players they let go, like your Ruben Garrick and Saab. I know Garrick didn't have a great year this year, but it's funny to see them go to other clubs and do so well. And then you look at the wingers that the Dragons actually have, and you're like, what's going on here? The next up, obviously, is the two Sharks players. But I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm actually not sure which one's which, just off basically this little tiny photo. It's obviously Mulatalo and Katoa. It's just I'm not sure which one's which. I think Mulatalo might be the second one. I think it might be Katoa, the first guy. I think I'm going to chuck him in the low tier. At the moment, he can score some tries, but I think he's definitely got a lot of improving to do. Mulatalo, I'm going to chuck in the good category. I think he's better. I think Katoa definitely has potential to be a good player / a star player, but just for now, I'm just going to chuck him in the low end. Like I said, I'm going to get a little bit more harsher with my positions for these guys. And in saying that, Nick Meaney, I think he's going to go into the low end winger as well. Look, he's a fullback. He's a fullback who plays wing. They're trying to manufacture him into a winger because they don't think he's good enough to play fullback. But he's kind of good enough to be in the side because the Bulldog side isn't that great. Don't have great wingers. I mean, look at the other option, Crichton. He's actually the brother of Stephen Crichton for Penrith, but unfortunately for him, he's just actually injured himself, and I think he's out for like the 2021 season. But look, this dude, straight up, he's in the trash category 100%. And look, I don't want to say that because he's a Bulldogs player, but yeah, he definitely deserves to be in that trash category. Like any winger, he can score a couple of tries if he's getting given decent ball, if he can go over untouched, but he's got a lot of errors in him, and he's not super quick or anything. He's not super powerful. He's just a bit of a plotter in first grade at the moment. But yeah, we'll chuck him in the trash there. Elite, David Nofaluma definitely deserves to be in the elite category at the moment. Probably wouldn't have said that a couple of years ago, even last year. But I just don't think you can look at this 2020 season and not say that he's in the elite category of wingers at the moment. Which is brought up a lot of contract talks for him, but that's a whole different story. He's in the elite category. So is Daniel Tupou, and so is Brett Morris. I think that's an easy one. So we've got Nofaluma, that's 3 in a row. Nofaluma, Tupou, and Brett Morris, and it's crazy that both the Roosters wingers are in there. Even the Stormers, as good as I rate Adokar and Vunivalu, Tupou and Brett Morris definitely in that elite category. I mean, Daniel Tupou, probably one of the better wingers this year, probably the second best after Nofaluma in my opinion. But in terms of overall players, I mean, he's right up there. Brett Morris, I think, is still super underrated at the moment. I mean, seriously, if he wasn't retired from New South Wales ranks, even Australian, I reckon he would have got picked. Like, that's how good of a season he had. And he's just so consistent. Even Josh there, look, they're just such good players, the Morris boys, and they just don't look like slowing down. Quite literally, don't look like slowing down at all. And I think they could play in another couple of years. I don't think they will, but I think they're definitely capable of doing it. Just absolutely incredible players in their career, and I still really rate them as elite wingers. Well, Brett, that is. Obviously, Josh doesn't play wing, but yeah, Brett, I still rate him as a winger. I mean, Josh did play wing a couple of years ago for Cronulla, but yeah, we're talking about Brett at the moment. Now, moving on to Xavier Coates, I would say he's in... I'm going to chuck him in the star category after the Origin. I thought his performances in Origin this year... Look, if you'd asked me at the start of the year, even just watching the Broncos, I probably would have chucked him in the good, maybe low tier category. But the Origin performance has really cemented that spot for me, that I think he's a star winger at this point. At least he's on the brink of it. I think he's kind of teetering between good and star. But I'm just going to chuck him there for now. Next player, I think it's Camo Marlow. I'll chuck him in the star category too, because I feel like he's had a bit of a falling off. Considering I think at one point might have been rated by a lot of people as probably the best winger, at least like a top 3. But I think this past season he had a bit of a slow season. But the Warriors, they've always have pretty strong wingers. Tuaro there, Marlow, always strong. But yeah, just in terms of just this past season, I think there's been a strong drop off. But, I mean, like I said, Ferguson's there, he's in a similar boat. Both of those guys probably would have said would be elite wingers probably last year or even the year before that. So I can't really just chuck them all the way down. Next up, we have, I don't know if that's the Hammer. I think that might be the Hammer. I'm going to chuck him at the moment in the low tier end. Just, if it's the Hammer, I don't know. If it's Gideon Mosby or whatever his name is, I'm going to chuck him in the trash. I think it actually might be in hindsight. I feel like the Hammer plays fullback. But look, if it's the Hammer, low end, if it's Mosby, we'll chuck him in the trash. Let's just chuck him in the trash. Let's just assume that's Mosby, because he's just not good. Next up, we have, I don't even know, it's not Campbell Graham, is it? Okay, I just did a quick Google search. It actually is Campbell Graham. Look, he's more of a centre these days now. That's kind of why I was a little bit confused. So I'm not sure how up to date it is. I mean, it looks fairly up to date, but I'll consider Campbell Graham a centre now. But I mean, in terms of winger, I wouldn't even say he was an elite winger. He's just like a very, very solid one. I'll chuck him in the star category. I don't think he's an elite centre nor winger. I feel like he's very good. He benefits from playing in a strong Rabbitoh side. But, I mean, he's definitely a good player. I'll just say that these aren't in any particular order when you're seeing them too. I can't be bothered rearranging them, just being for real with you. But, yeah, Campbell Graham into the star category, just because I feel like he's good in multiple positions. Next up, I think it's Tommy Talau. I don't really know for sure. Just once again, these little photos not doing much for me. I'm going to chuck him in the low end because I feel like he's fairly new to the scene, if it is him. But yeah, we'll chuck him in there. Who's the other Tigers guy? Is that like Robert Jennings? I'm going to chuck him in there as well because I don't really know. I don't really rate them too highly, a lot of the Jennings boys. Then we have Remus Smith. I think he's in is he low end? I'm going to say he's in the low end of the wingers at the moment. It seems pretty crazy. You probably think I'm like, what the hell? You've talked about Remus Smith before. Definitely think he's capable, but this past season he just looked like he wasn't with it. But he's one of those guys who's got all those physical traits and definitely has the potential. Shown in the past he can be a good winger, and I think he's going to bring it out. And I definitely think the Storm are going to bring it out of him. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised next year I chuck him in the bloody star category. That's what the Storm seem to do to wingers. Cory Oates, Addo Vunivalu, you name it. They produce the wingers. They really can. And they can take him out of obscurity and do it. So Remus Smith, at least he's got something to work with. And then you add him into that Storm system, I think he'd be incredible. He could be anything. I know it's such a cliched thing to say in terms of NRL. He could be anything. But like Remus Smith legit could. He could be the best winger in the game in a couple of years. Then we have, I think it's Ikavalu, is that how you say it? I'm going to chuck him in the low end. I don't think he's trash. He's not going to get opportunities. He's got Daniel Tupou in front of him. He's got Brett Morris. He needs to go to another club. I don't know if other clubs are that keen on him. Like, he's looked good, but I mean, I feel like a lot of players would look good in that Roosters side. I feel like I could be on the wing there and I'd probably score a couple of tries throughout the season at some point. But he did score that 4 tries or 5 tries last minute, so definitely has some talent there. Ruben Garrick, we're going to chuck him in the low end at this point. Very good a couple seasons ago, but really dropped off. I think the other guys, I think it's Tuaro. I'm going to chuck him in low end as well. I don't really rate the wingers there for Manly. We have Cory Oates. I'm probably just going to speed these up a little bit here. I've just seen, I think that is Camo Marlow here now. Did I just put, is it Fusa Tuaro? I don't really know. I'm just going to, let's just move this guy. I don't really know who I just rated there. That's Camo Marlow. Let's chuck Camo Marlow into the star ratings. We have Cory Oates. I think he's a good winger. A couple of years ago, would have definitely been in the star, probably even in the elite category for me. Really rated Cory Oates, but he's had a bit of a falling off in terms of being a winger. It's just purely they don't want him to be a winger. So, yeah. The other guy, I don't really know who that is. Is it? Honestly, I don't know. Is that Farnworth or someone? I really don't know. I'm just going to chuck him into the low end category because I don't really know him. Same with the Warriors guy. Rapana, I'm going to chuck him into the star category. Rapana, he might not be as good as he was a couple of years ago, but I still think he's very, very valuable to that Raiders side. I mean, he can cover centre, winger. I honestly don't think he's that good of a centre, but I've seen him play fullback, I've seen him play wing. He's just such a good, solid player, and wing's definitely his strongest position. If they can chuck him on there, I mean, they need someone to replace Cotrick, so I'd expect Rapana to jump straight back into that wing position, especially with Curtis Scott and Jared Croker being there. Curtis Scott will be back. But yeah, Rapana I think is a sick player and he definitely deserves to be in that star setting. And we have Sivo. He's the last one. Based off everyone else, I'm going to chuck Sivo into the good category. He's someone who definitely has shown glimpses of being a star, being an absolute star. In terms of like star power, I think he definitely is a star. But just in terms of actual ability-wise, I think as good as he is, I feel like he's not quite as good as some of these other players. So I just put him, he'd be right at the top of the good category, sort of branching onto the star category. But look, that's just how I've got it. Guys, in the comment section below, is there anyone who I've just totally just stuffed up their position? Now, a couple of these players, I was talking about wrong pictures and the wrong player and stuff. So apologies for that. You're probably looking at it and going, oh, that Warriors player is such and such. But just basically this little tiny picture I'm looking at. It's hard to see, but those are my list. You can see there a couple of trash players, but yeah, I think that's fairly good for that one. It might expose my judgment of players here, but yeah, I can't really see anyone that's a glaring, like just a really, really bad take on that one. So I'm pretty happy with that. And guys, if you're happy with the video, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell. It is quite important. Let you be notified immediately when I've uploaded, so you don't have to worry about whether I've uploaded or not. You can just get a notification straight on your phone, pop up. If you want to leave first or leave a comment or something, you can go ahead and do that. So yeah, turn on the notification bell. Also, make sure to give me a follow on social media as well. It's on the screen right now. It's MrLuke and YT for the most part. I think it's MrLuke just on Facebook. But everything else, MrLuke and YT, Snapchat included. But yeah, guys, that's all I've got to say for this video. That's my tier list. Leave your tier list in the comment section below. Like I said, if there's anyone I've stuffed up, I apologise. But that's just my opinion on it. Just a quick opinion. Did it live, so there we go. Anyway, guys, I'm just rambling now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.